Anybody out there? Let's see who's there. Hello. Hi. A girl asked me today in a question about how to start the healing process and how to do, start the shadow work. They just don't know where to start. And funny enough, I was thinking about this last night. I didn't really sleep. I had about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours sleep. So I was thinking about this last night. And it came to me, actually, this is what I thought. I thought last night, actually, I need to talk about it because there's so many souls out there that have really suffered from immense trauma. So there's a huge amount of healing needed on this planet. Wow, really. And that was quite evident last night. So I wanted to actually, I'm looking at, this is what the thought that came to me. I only went to sleep at 5 o'clock this morning and I woke up at just before 9 with the energies coming. I didn't sleep last night. Nothing new at the moment. As I said, there's massive energy coming in and I was distracted. And on the subject, actually, with talking about healing. Yeah, so, talking about healing and trauma. And some people have experienced horrendous trauma in this life. They're trapped in this cycle of trauma and karma. And they're having, lives that are just horrendous lives. And they just, it's so much pain. They're holding so much pain and anguish. So today I came on to TikTok to check messages, and there's a lady asking me, yes, now she's just started on her spiritual journey and awakening, and she wants to know how, where to start. Good point. So first of all is starting with the actual you wanting to. It's the intent. But it's got to come from, not like, oh, well, I want to because I'm scared, just in case I die, If you've got the 1 foot in, well, I don't really believe, in afterlife and that, anything else, well, then, it's not going to happen. You've got to really want to, you want to help. You've got to really say, shit, I want to wake up. I want to either save my soul or whatever your purpose, your drive is, right? To seek the answer, to know the real truth. Or to heal, aren't you tired of suffering? Some people get to a point where they're tired of this. Their whole life has just been suffering and they want to end the suffering. Yeah, so no, because I obviously I didn't know what you see. So basically, this is quite true. So whatever is getting you to this point that you want to heal, you're tired of suffering, you're tired of the same. If you're having the same cycle repeat in your life, well, there we are. There's something wrong, and it's what people also don't realize is some of this sometimes is past life or karma, and it's not even them. Then they don't realize that they've got attached energies attached to them, which are manipulating or influencing. Let's say someone died, right? Whatever. And now that soul didn't go and they've now stuck onto you. You didn't let them go, whatever. So sometimes it's other energies, others. These things are right. Just, you got to start somewhere. So let's start on the all right, I want to stop this stuff. I want to either ascend, save my soul. I want to wake up. I want to end the suffering and this, don't want to come back next time and have a horrible life. Whatever your purpose is, okay? You've got to start with that intent. I have had enough. Please, I want help. I want the truth. I want to, I want to get out of this whatever. Whatever your purpose is, okay? That's what you've got to start with. It's meaning it. So it's got to come from the heart. That's number one. Step one, like I said to this lady, is intent. So you sit down and you start talking openly, out loud, to source, the creator, the angels, whoever you feel comfortable to, right? And you say, Rak, please, you've also got to be willing to forgive. So basically, normally it comes to a point of surrender. You come to a point of surrender where it's, what? Okay. Because, it's more important for you, the healing, the wholeness of the soul. So you're willing to forgive whatever anybody's done to you and vice versa. Because remember, in order for you to be put in a situation where you are a victim, you think, let's say, something happened, something is done to you. This is an opportunity. Now, it could be because you came into this life with karmic debt and all kinds of other nonsense, right? Or attachment or something. So you could have really come with that. Now you've got to work through it. Maybe you were the perpetrator in the last life. Who knows? It doesn't matter. The point is, it's done to you. It's an opportunity, that's why it's done, for you to forgive. You see, to rise above it. Because if you don't, you're going to get caught in that cycle. And then you do it to them, and you hate them, and you project this hate and blame on them. And it's just this karmic cycle you're stuck in. So those that want to escape of whatever, you're worrying about, this life, if you die, whatever your purpose is, it's not important. The intent to start this process is important. So there we are. What I can tell you is my journey. Okay. So how I started, because some people think, there's some special way of doing it. No, you just ask for bloody help. You just say, please, well, I'm over this. Now mine was, I was in a very bad way. And I was like, I wasn't worried if I was going to, I actually didn't know I was going to die. Actually, in a year's time, I was meant to be dying. Maybe I did. That's why you kind of guided. And I was like, I'm just so over this shit. And I was in such a bad way, and health-wise as well. And I was like, right. I just wanted to make sure when I left that I didn't want my children to suffer. So I wanted whatever the suffering and whatever life, trauma, karma shit to end with me. I didn't know anything about esoteric, the actual meaning, the soul. I just, as a human, stuck in the wherever I was, like everybody else before you started the spiritual journey, just thought, oh my gosh, I don't want my children to suffer anymore. I want this karma, this shit to end with me. So when I die, my children don't have to carry on suffering. This cycle is broken, right? So I asked for forgiveness for whatever I've done, and I just asked for help. I just said, please, I wasn't actually cared, because you've given up. So it's almost like a surrender. You don't really care what's happening. You've stopped with your body. Anything happens to you. It's just like, hey, you just want whatever, you resign. Just, right, you just want to make sure all is good with your soul, So I was prepared to, whatever. I wasn't really worried. I expected to be leaving the planet. And I actually was. Yes, you probably knew on a sort of deep level. So I was just like, right, started to asking for forgiveness for all harm I did to other people, hurt my children, did this, did that, You start going through it, and literally, meaningfully, I really meant it. So I took about a week or two. So you're doing your prayers, or you're walking around, and I was praying and saying, please, whatever. I was more concerned about my children, not about myself. I was like, I'll take all the shit as long as my children don't have to suffer. You know what I mean? That's all I was worried about, because that's the consciousness I was in. I had no idea what was on the other side yet, you see. So I was trying to heal physically. So I was on a different journey. I was doing transcendental meditation. First of all, because I started that, and I was trying to do the Kundalini awakening, whatever. I wasn't quite sure what it was anyway. So I'll do this thing, I'll try this thing, whatever. So I was doing that anyway, and it worked. Bink, no problem. So that's why I managed to see the other side and also know what's going on and communicate. It's different. If you're not doing that, the only way you're going to be maybe getting communication is like your intuition, or through praying. You're not knowing. You don't actually physically. So a lot of people aren't realizing they're not getting the communication back. So they don't think there's anything else out there, because as a human, if you can't see it, you don't believe it's there. So I don't see God, so God's not there, or, whatever, the angels. But once you do this, you're able to see the unseen. So you're able to know, oh yes, sure as hell what's there and everything else. So this is what made a difference for me. I started doing it, and I started, slowly started, seeing things, and I was like, oh wow. And I was shown. So it's pure intent. I was sitting there I was working through forgiving these people. And I was working through some trauma, a big trauma that happened. Yeah. I was working through a specific trauma that happened to me, right? So I was trying to forgive this person and forgive everything that happened. So I called the soul, so that you've got to visualize it. So what I did, like everyone said, I saw the soul come in front of me, like I called that person, and you visualize these two souls standing there, and you say, look, I forgive you for whatever harm you did, or I think you did to me, and I release you. You break bonds, ties, because sometimes there's ties. So bonds, promises, contracts, ties. I went through that whole bad speech. Cut this thing and wished, and saw the soul float away, but wished, really did mean it. Wished them like peace and love. No, just let's set you free. So you're not also trying to put karma, hate. You're just releasing them, and you're forgiving them completely. And what I was shown, was wow, that incident, that was amazing. Because once you like if you get visions or you're able to see this or whatever, or I don't know how they show it. You just know. You'll know. It comes through whether visions or not, but you will know exactly. And it was the most aha moment I've ever had. I was sitting on my knees, I remember, on my lounge floor, doing this praying, whatever else, and forgiveness, or forgiving these people and asking people to forgive. Vice versa, if I ever harmed you, I was saying to them the same thing. It's all in your mind, not out loud. If I've ever hurt you, please forgive me, intentionally or unintentionally. And I was working through this and whatever, and this one trauma. And then they showed me, right, why. And that was absolutely mind-blowing. It was the most freeing moment I've ever had in my life. Because there you're sitting on your knees and you like now forgiving this person that's done huge trauma in your life and everything. And what they show you, right, okay, you need to let this go now. So I asked, I don't know, I was just shown things I need to let go. And what popped up was they showed me from a higher level, like, okay, here we are. Say now from God's perspective or whatever, angelic, and why this happened. So almost like when you die, you get a life review and you're able to understand and you see everything and why everything happened. Now, this is what a clip was given to me. So it was given to me why this trauma happened. And what was shown to me is like, no, you weren't a victim. You chose that. And why I chose that and some of these things. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it comes to you very fast. It's like the knowing. It's like you can see the whole picture like that. And it's just, oh, wow. And that was like a wow moment that I burst out laughing. I was absolutely blown away to realize, well, no, that this was actually something I had purposely, anything that happens to you as a soul, you actually, planned this before you, this whole game, this life before you came here. And it had specific reasons, and why was amazing. So why I did that was like, oh my gosh. And that was it. Anyway, so this is my thing. What I can also suggest people do, so it's you have to start with pure intent, and you got to keep at it. Because people think, okay, well, if I don't get an answer there, well, it's not working, I'll just drop off. You see, they want to see that you mean it, and you've got to stick on that path. So you've got to be committed. You really want to change. You really want to get out. You want to know the truth or seek source or whatever it is, right? Spiritually, I'm talking on the spiritual path. Okay, forgiveness, healing, whatever. You really got to stick to that path and mean it. And if they know it with your heart is meant, oh, you get it. Oh, shit, you get it. And you'll start seeing things and you'll be, you'll feel that love. You will just know that they're there. As I say, the more you'll rise up and you'll start seeing and feeling, you'll know you're not alone. Wow. It will be given to you. If you seek the light and you seek to heal and you seek to forgive. And then you've got to forgive yourself. But that process, you'll be guided through it because it'll just come to you. It's like, oh, I need to do that. And the next thing will come to you. Oh, I need to forgive that. Or, I need... So you'll be almost guided. Your intuition or they will just guide you. All right? You need to forgive yourself and whatever else. And then it's just amazing. It's just, you start that path and trust me, it is so incredible. That journey and the forgiveness and the love, and then it's shown to you and you feel the love and it's okay. And you no, okay, you're forgiven. It's okay. You realize as a soul that it's everything. It's all been let go and you are right. And you are completely, it's been washed away. I'm talking about from someone who's starting off that has no clue, okay? That's just starting on the spiritual journey. So I'm trying to share this. This is how you'll begin, how most people will begin. All right. I'm not going to put ideas in your head, but that's really what you've got to do. And you will see, wow. And you ask for that help. You call out and you mean it. You ask for those angels, ask for protection, ask for that love, ask for forgiveness, ask for guidance to be a better person. But you've got to really mean that you're sorry. And then you can forgive yourself. And then you realize as well, you've got to apply that same compassion to you. So even if you cock up and done something wrong, you've got to be able to completely forgive yourself. And no guilt, no shame, nothing. But you will go through this process and you're slowly doing it. What I can really advise people to do that are starting off, if you don't realize, if you start on this process, maybe a month or 2 or 3, right? What you don't realize, you need to go for a past life regression. That's very important. Why? Is because you're going to have stumbling blocks and problems, and what you don't realize sometimes is that you have attachments on energies or souls that didn't leave, when they died, and you hung on and wouldn't let them go. So you found your mother, your grandmother, someone, or who knows, anyone. You could have never. It's an energy that's or unresolved past life that's still stuck in you, which people call ghost attachments, whatever you want to bloody call them, implants, whatever nonsense. Okay, this is it's just stuff you've got to work through. All right. So past life regression. Now you can find those people anywhere on the internet. Just type in QHHT. Okay, regression, I think, whatever, I can't remember what you want to call them, session people, practitioner, whatever. Quantum healing, okay, Dolores Cannon's thing. Type that in and you'll pull up, you can put your country in, and you don't really need them in your country because everything's done online now. As long as you have a video camera, they want to do it via Skype or they do it via Zoom or something like that. They need to be able to see you. Okay, so that is very good. It's something you need to do fairly early on in your process, all right, once you started this journey. Because what your soul will do is take you back under deep hypnosis and heal that. If there's something stuck there, they'll show you there's something stuck in, maybe not this life, but other lives or attachments. You need to do that. That will really jump you up the ladder. That will really help immensely. Because if you don't do that and you start on this process, right, you're not aware that something else is influencing or negative, the energy. Okay, because you haven't cleared it from a past life, right? And so you're just it's gonna keep putting you off course or sabotaging what you're doing. So you need to go. The second thing you can go do is see a Akashic record reader and healer, because they will tell you who your guides are, what your issues are, any attachments can be removed and these things and cleared. So which also causes physical blocking. So you might find you've got physical ailments in your body because, physical problems and pains because of these things, because they haven't been removed, you see. Yeah. Can you remember the past life regression? Yes, they record it for you. So when you go to these people and have this, they will film it. So they either video, or record it or do the audio recording. So the person on the other side, say it's like a Zoom. It's like a Zoom call. You're lying in bed, they need to hear you, right? So you've got to have your camera very close and get earphones or whatever. So when you're under hypnosis, because you might be talking softly and you got to be close enough so they can hear you to your computer or laptop, whatever you're using, right? Have it on a tripod or wherever you're going to set it up. You need to have some sort of earphones. They will record. So they record it, so you have a session. So you get to keep it because you don't remember it all, and it sometimes can be quite tiring and can go on for hours sometimes. Depends how much you've got to clear. So it can be quite exhausting. Depends on the person. Try and obviously go for someone that's more qualified. See, that's had many clients. And to speak to them, just get to check them out first. Make sure that you're happy with the person. Hopefully you'll ask for divine guidance there as well. Ask them, please give me, someone that's going to be for my highest good. And when you go to the session, set the intent, because they ask you, what do you want out of this? They'll ask you, right? Do you want to know, maybe people say, I want to know who my children were in my past life, all kinds of nonsense. I want to know as an alien on Mars, all that. Less stuff that's not as important. But anyway, it's just more, it's all excitement nonsense. It's a distraction. If you want to really heal, your intention when you go for your regression is to be whole as a soul again. So fractals that you've left in past lives, which is just energy. Think of yourself as consciousness and energy, right? So when people say ghosts, it's just energy. So there's other energy stuck on you, whatever. You've taken their energy, a bit of their energy, So you got mixed. So what you will do then is all these fractals that you've left in other lives and timelines will be pulled back. So you just pull all your energy back to you. And anything you've taken other people's energy, give it back to them. So that session, when you're finished, will be a healing session. Okay, that's the best thing. So that's your intent. Set it to be whole and as a soul again to heal. So your past life regression person, your soul will guide you to whichever past life or whatever trauma in this life that you need to heal. And it's not painful because you see it from a higher perspective, and then they heal. So let the therapist make sure they heal, do the healing and put color. So when you wake up, it's like you're refreshed, and you're not going to feel, oh my gosh, drained because you're so traumatized and upset now going through all that. And no. That person afterwards must make sure you do a healing before the session finishes. They heal, put color in. So when you wake up, you feel wonderful and healed and whole. Changes you for the better. Okay, then you carry on in your journey, and then you can go see a good Akashic record reader and a healer as well. Then they can scan your body, check, do any clearing, healing, whatever. As you work on this journey, you might take on more. You've got to learn. But that's your first step up on the road to, getting there. I'm fine, thank you. I'm just tired. I'm not sleeping. I went to sleep at about 5. Last time I looked at the time, it was 5 something in the morning, and I got up at just before 9. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, rather tired. Yeah, but I climbed up the mountain anyway this morning. I need the fresh air, so the exercise. Yeah, I'm pretty, yes. But this is something, because I was talking to someone who's very close to me, who suffered extreme trauma in this life and had been witness to extreme, very traumatic events, which will, really. And what people also don't realize, which I've picked up, because we are able now, I've had my Kundalini awakening, because I started my transcendental meditation, and I was messing with it, not really knowing what I was doing. What they said I had was an accidental Kundalini awakening, which I don't think anything's accidental anyway. I was trying to levitate, actually, at the time when it happened. Well, I nearly went to the roof of the house. It was quite, and I didn't know what the hell was happening to me. So I was terrified as hell when this happened to me. So I thought I was going to disappear through my ceiling like a rainbow. I shot up through my roof. I was going to leave my physical body. I thought I was leaving Earth with, and I was going, oh, well, it was a bit, anyway, because I didn't know. So there's a difference. So I was able to see. So talking to people that have this and listening to them, it's very sad. And what they've been through, some people have experienced, wow, they've seen, a lot of, so much pain taken on. So what they don't realize is sometimes those souls that died, that maybe they were there when they died, didn't leave, because they weren't whole, had a lot of dark, dense energy and dark, low consciousness, so it's harder for them to. Sometimes, oh my gosh, realize they haven't got a body, then don't realize who they are. Doesn't matter, it's illusion. And they try and then hang on. So they hang on to your body or stick to your body or jump in your body. This is what the problem is. So people don't realize they've got other souls, unhealed souls or energy and consciousness, which is just affecting them negatively. There we are. No. So, it's interesting. It's really worth it. And if you make a concerted effort, now it depends on what you want to do. So, first of all, I presume this is what this video is about, to heal. All right. Because remember, if you don't seek to do this, whatever most people, this is what most of the people on the planet are, they're stuck in a dark, dense energy and karmic cycle. They don't realize. You see, someone hurt me, so I'll never forgive them. All this hate and anger is held in that person. All it's doing is actually, what people don't realize, when you don't forgive and you hate them because, they did this to me, I would never forgive them. I mean, I know it's very painful. I hear some of the stories of things that have happened to people. And I'm like, wow, yeah, I know. It's like, I can imagine. From your mind, your ego, it does not want to forgive. Oh, no. But what you don't realize is you not forgiving has got nothing to do with them. That dark, dense energy and anger is what it does is darkens your soul. So think of it as like a glue. So it makes your soul heavy. So when you die, it's very hard for you to rise up or get anywhere, because your soul kind of stuck, because it's too dark. You're holding on so much dark, dense energy. You need to release it. You know what I mean? And then what will happen, let's just say from this level, I'm not going on a higher, this is for beginners. So I'm not going to jump into something that you're not going to relate to. What you will do if you're on this thing is, when you come back now into playing, you'll reincarnate. So you will disappear and you'll be born again quite quickly. And when you're born again, you'll pick up that energy, whatever lessons you didn't learn, because now I didn't want to forgive that person. So you will carry on. And this is what's happened on the planet. So people are coming over and over. And this hate and victim and aggressor, victim and perpetrator, oh my gosh. And you're stuck in these karmic cycles and karmic families, where it's just trauma and abuse, back and forth like this, like a tennis match. You see? Yeah, I mean, wow. And some people's stories are really painful. I know you just have you feel that, you really know that it hurt them, you know what I mean? But it's your heart. Yeah, it's definitely worth it, but you gotta go to someone that knows what they're doing. It's definitely worth it. Absolutely. Oh yes. Oh yes, you can find out why and if there's any reason there as well. Yes, absolutely you can. Definitely let them know. Definitely ask for, make sure it's someone is good, make sure they call in protection, guidance, so you're well protected. Okay. They know what they're doing, yeah. They're aware of that. Okay. You can go see a reader or healer first as well. Maybe they can even tell you and they can start feeling why, Doesn't matter. Your soul, it's got to be healed at the soul level because that's what you are really. This is just an illusion. This is just an outfit. This is think of it as an avatar. You just pick this thing to jump into. It's a game, So this is not, it doesn't matter. When you leave this body, you're definitely not going to take that with you. Okay. Well, look at how many people they've done, right? So they're on their so-called credentials or website. You will see I've got level 1 practitioner, level 2, or level 3. Those are obviously more expensive because they've done the higher degree. So look at what other ones have done. Some people do more than one. Besides QHHT, they do other ones, NLP, other different type of hypnosis. Some people have done all kinds of, that different styles of hypnosis or psychology, this and that, whatever. So they've got more degrees. And they've had far more people. You can see they've progressed far more people. All right. And then you feel their energies, their love, compassion. Do you connect with them? If you don't feel comfortable, then, well, it's not going to work. You've got to feel comfortable with that person. So you can maybe have a Skype call with them first, just see if you're gonna do it. Because if you don't feel comfortable to trust them, it won't work. You have to feel comfortable with that person. See, it's got to be a thing there. So that's how you can go and have a look. And it'll show you. They've done like 150 sessions or regressions, and what they charge. So all these factors play in. It's like looking for anybody, services. You're paying someone. So you look at, it's like a plumber. How many, how long has a guy been qualified? How many references does he have as a plumber? Ooh, no, maybe not. Same thing. You check the person out. Do they have references? Were the people happy? How much do they charge? Maybe you can't afford it. I don't know. Ask. Even that you can ask for. Divine guidance and help, to find your help. It's highest, always, when you ask for something, pray or whatever, for your highest good. Okay. Always ask for guidance. Whatever you ask for, can you ask someone for my highest good? All right. Always. That's why when you ask for help, it's always for your highest good. So you don't get anything that's not for your highest good. See? Help, whenever you ask for help. Sorry? I'm trying to catch up with the comments here. They're going past. Yeah, but you can, not really. You can ask a tarot card reader. Yeah, well, you have free will. You can change your bloody mind. You're playing the game here. So you can go and see. You've got good readers. They can do Akashic Records, tarots, all those kind of things. That's normally kind of people want to ask about that. But I mean, you can do anything you want, really. So it's not like anything particular. Don't know, darling. Who knows? There's going to be so much, all kinds of different, expressions popping up on the planet because all these different beings are different fractals of source, have different expressions. So that's our point. So and we're going to have look at the variety. Just look at the variety, the difference in humans, just in their personalities and their perceptions. Right? This is the point. You can look outside, look around you. Different. So wow, there's all kinds of people out in this planet. It's amazing. It's just incredible. And one thing we realize, it's another thing I'm going to say, be careful, people, when you start this thing. What you've got to understand is, even the Bible tells you, what you do unto one, you do unto me, because you are all part of God, of source. Even the ones that harmed you, they are playing the role, because I'm saying this is a cycle you're stuck in, lesson. And you are supposed to get the lesson and go, oh, okay, forgive, and go rise above it. So this is why, it's a good thing to Dr. Stephen Greer. Yeah. I did he's good for transcendental meditation. He's got a free 5-part video on YouTube videos, and you can go watch that. That was really good for transcendental meditation, because he teaches you to get into that higher consciousness meditation, so you're not like sitting in meditation using your mind. You are rising up. You now the soul. You're the observer. So so it's for free, and it's on YouTube, and you can find those videos, and he explains how to do it, and you just practice it. Listen to the man and you practice, and it's so easy. People that try too hard don't. And just know that know what you ask for is heard. But you will also be, you're going to be watched. Well, how much are you going to give up? Do you really mean it? Are you going to change your mind? Is it just like a wishy-wishy? You see? Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, there we are. Yes, I know, yeah. Yeah, he's got more than one documentary, yeah. But that's not important for someone's soul on the soul journey. So yeah, your soul will take you, let's just keep it at this level. Your soul's going to take you in your past lives, and it'll show you what is relevant, depending on what you're seeking. If you're asking to be whole and healed, well, then it's going to take you to lives that are, you need to see that are a problem, like mine were, So there you went. And not only, also lives that were nice. So you could see where you had a life, that was really cool. You had really peaceful lives. You don't only you've had every kind of dream, matrix, life, illusion that you can think of, boy. If you think this is interesting, well, you'll be amazed what you've done or been, or whatever. You're welcome. So there I can ask, and I tell you what, it's worth it, because otherwise you're just going to keep suffering. And what people don't realize, that anger, no matter what someone's done to you, you're not forgiving them to set them free. You're setting your soul free. And you're not bringing any more karma back to you. Because if you don't forgive whoever, parent, dysfunctional parent, it's karmic. You chose that parent, by the way. So you probably harmed them, or you were the parent in the last life. Who knows? So if you don't forgive the person that's wronged you, hurt you, broken your heart, stolen, did this, beat you, raped you, I don't know, whatever, right? If you don't forgive them, first of all, you're holding that dark, dense energy, and it's impacting your soul, and you're going up or anything, so you've just now messed yourself up. You are now putting that dark, that negative energy on that person. So you are bringing bad karma to yourself, because now that hate, that anger that you refuse to give is going to come back to you, whether this life or the next life, whatever. See, what you give off is what you get back. It's energy. So all of these things, you do it only for your soul. The whole purpose is for your soul. That other person that harmed you, it's not your problem. Their soul is now going to be stuck with dark dense energy or karma if they don't ask you for forgiveness on a soul level. They'll carry that karma, that burden. So they'll come back in the next life maybe and be the victim. Do you understand? So don't worry about their stuff, or trying to, that'll be nice. I hope they do come back with bad karma, because you're doing it yourself. Don't ever wish bad on them. Someone that harms you, don't wish, I hope they get punished. I hope he gets karma, this and that, because you're just bringing that to yourself. Do you understand? Wish them love, pray for them. They don't know what they're doing. That's the better way to do it. And it'll come to them. You just have to sit back and watch. And that's something before I had my spiritual awakening, I did this automatically in this life. I don't know why, whatever. And when I was younger and people did things to me, and I was like that, and I would not do that. So they would do really bad, and I'd be upset, and I was like, okay, whatever. And boy, did shit come back to them. Wow. And it was fast. It was like, ooh, shit, it was bad. I was like, ooh, no, ooh. And so then I realized, oh my gosh, I was like, oh my gosh, I really feel sorry for you, because you don't know what you're doing, You don't want to ever wish those people that harmed you wrong. You do sometimes. I've done it. It wasn't fun. Because I was so upset and so hurt. So of course you carry that anger and pain and stuff. It's projection. So you're projecting that anger and pain out. You didn't realize, why that happened, that incident happened. You'll be like, oh my gosh. Okay. And when your soul shows you, like this past life regression, when it comes from that level of that consciousness, it's not the mind, this ever-present consciousness, It is in such a way, and they love you. It's amazing. It's so freeing. Okay. So you free yourself from your pain, your suffering, your hurt, your anger, your bitterness, and it causes you disease, it gives you cancer. See, it gives you cancer. Your manifest cancer. If you hang on to that dark, dense energy, that rage, hurt, and things, it builds up in disease in your body. Because that's dark, dense energy stuck in the body, and it causes illness, disease, pains, all kinds of nonsense. All right. So it's really, really worth it. Yeah, here's one. Stuff you don't let out. Basically, think of it emotions. Energy in motion, right? This is what it is. It's actually energy in motion. That's what it should be called, not emotion. So now we got emotions, right? So what they really are is just energy in motion. Now, when you hurt, and it's so painful you don't want to let it out. See this lump cyst I've got here? There's a tumor here. There we are. That manifested because of all pain, anger, hurt, tears. This pain I hung on to. I wouldn't let out. You wouldn't let the energy go through you. Oh, I've had many times. Trust me, I cried. I made such a noise. I mean, I think I could have brought a building down. Where you howl when that pain comes from your soul. When you cry from such a soul level that's actually coming from your gut. It sounds horrendous. You're crying. I mean, from the depth of your soul, this horrible noise comes out. But anyway, this is holding back the hurt and anger and all kinds of things. And not being able to speak your truth because your throat chakra. Your voice is being silenced. Whatever, depends on what happened. This is what happened here. There. And it comes out in a physical way. And then the heart suffered damage. You trust me, you hang on to that, or you don't let that trauma, or trauma's in the body. It comes in your physical vessel. My physical vessel is buggered. I mean, really. Seriously. It can't, physically, the overload, the nervous system is, there we are. Wow. Hi, good, thank you. Good, thank you. Good, my soul's always good with my soul, that's what I say. And you might get tired when you start this journey because you'll think, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Because it's a long process, the healing process, or the shadow, right? The dark night of the soul, the shadow. Another little heads up I need to give you. That's why I say, please go for a past life regression in early stages and to go see a Akashic record reader, a good one, and that'll do healing and clearing. Because if you don't, your shadows, which are your fears, manifest in nasty ways. So you're a manifestation yourself. That's all you are. So your fears, shadows that your ego's built up, hurt, pain, all these things, or whatever you're carrying around with you, manifest as entities, beings, demonic things. I mean, and you might be tested. Those dark energies don't want to go. So if you do the spiritual awakening like I did, the Kundalini awakening, right? And you're on this level sort of type of thing, you start seeing things and that sort of stuff. Wow, yeah. So, shoo, there's another whole ball game you're going to have fun with. Scare the living shit out of you. Because you don't realize, because we are human and we believe and we watch horror movies and all these nonsense. So we actually think, because they are so real, those things can physically, will harm you. I can't explain it. Everything's in the now. So you'll get attacked by these things. I mean, you're like, wow, it's on an energetic level. Never mind. So yeah, you can end up, what we call, and people say that you go to all these, even the Buddhas, right? It's a realm you hit. It's called a realm. People just say, it's easy to explain. Say the demonic realm. You hit this thing. I think I shared some of my videos about that one. Wow. So there's all this darkness, all this fear, which is energy that you've hung on to, right? And other things that are in you, stuck on you, whatever. Wow. Do these things pop up in other lives? Whatever shit you did in other lives, So on an esoteric level, on the unseen, this is what you start battling. So you got to, and don't give up and run away from that one. I did share something about that because understand something, like I did, luckily, I was guided to it, and nothing and no one has power over you. So the minute now naturally when you have never seen these things and they appear in front of you, it'll scare the living shit out of you being a human, and you've watched horror movies and you ghosts and possessions and you believe all this shit, right? And it terrifies the living crap out of you. So when these things appear, you're going to be like, ah! what are you not realizing? By fearing them, that thing can harm me, you've given your power away. Because you are basically saying, oh my gosh, this energy has got power over me. And that's exactly what, because you believe it, and that's exactly what it has, and it does, you see. So eventually, your energy will go down. Now, remember mine. Wow. Frightening experiences I went through. Wow. I literally was, wow, it was. Oh. And then I found a video, a guy that had this problem, and he kept getting attacked and kept going to healers and shamans and people, and they charged him money, and if it comes back, I'll remove it from you. And he kept going to these people to remove these things and attachments and whatever else, right? And eventually, he just kept getting attacked, and he was like, no, and he was so desperate, he burst into tears. This is his story. I happened to come across his video. So there he was, and he was on this whole healing spiritual journey himself. He was doing this spiritual work. Anyway, some person he was, some woman that was working witchery, whatever. Anyway, was, attacking him, using thick shit against him. So this poor guy kept getting attacked. And eventually he was like, oh my gosh, he just, whatever he tried, nothing worked. So he burst into tears, and he was just desperate because he'd been to this healer, that shaman, and they remove it, and I'll come back, take this position or this, whatever they want to, all nonsense. They told him it's a entity or this, a demonic, whatever. So this poor guy was, beside himself. I think it was like 3 years later. he thought, oh, well, no, he just can't seem to get free from this thing, you see. So he was in tears, and he was desperate now. He was tired of going back to these people. And he sat down in his lounge, and he was crying, and he heard this voice, inner voice, your higher self saying, nothing and no one has power over you. And that voice, when you get told by your higher self or the divine, you just know. It's a knowing. It's like, oh my. And that's when the penny dropped, and he realized, oh shit. He is giving it power by fearing it. By believing this thing, or whatever it is, has more power than him when it doesn't. It's an illusion. So the minute he realized that, he burst out laughing, and he was not scared anymore, and he was like, get lost. And it was gone. And that's what happened to me as well. I was like, wow. And I was waiting for someone to do this so-called remove this thing from me, right? I was waiting for an appointment to have this thing removed from me and whatever else and all. And I'd been like, wow, I had a hell of a night. I thought I was going to die when I was attacked that night. Bloody hell. So I started laughing, and that's what I did. And I started, but you've got to believe it. And I started saying, nothing and no one has power over me. And I kept repeating it to myself, repeating it. So you're like building up that courage or whatever. And it was. And then I realized I was like, bugger that. I laughed. And then I realized, exactly, it was gone. It was like knowing that you are giving it power because you believe it can, is more powerful. And it is not more powerful than you. Absolutely not. Nothing is. So this is what it is. And then you all find other things as well. But anyway. So it doesn't matter if it's an ET, whatever it is, nothing and no one has power over you, literally. They have no power over you. You have complete power and command and control. You can tell anything to get lost, go away, But you have to absolutely believe that. That's the problem. Most people don't. If you say, go away, whatever else, and you don't believe it, well, there we are. Because you're saying one thing but believing another. It's your belief and your heart. See, your feeling, it's energy. What you believe and feel is the only thing that matters. There we are. If you want that, if you believe that, yeah. So there we are. That's your start, okay. And then if it depends on you, then if you seek to go higher and higher, and what you seek to believe and how high you tend to get, that's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to become enlightened, if you seek to know source, the truth, the whatever, the more you cut the outside interference and other people's opinions out, when you start your journey, trust your higher self and trust that divine guidance when they start coming. Trust them. Have complete trust in them. Absolute 100% trust. Not in what other people tell you should be doing, because that's their perception. Remember, everybody else has their own perception, has their own level of consciousness. Okay. Whatever, they're influenced by whatever they've experienced, lived through, So please don't take some other persons because they tell you, oh my gosh, this is a demon, that's what it is, and this is a demon, and that's that, and you should be doing this, and you must do that, and say this, and put that on yourself, and dance 5 times in a circle, and say whatever. Ask your higher self. They will guide you when you need protection. You'll be guided as you work you up, okay? Because until you get confidence, you'll put your little protection. Maybe you'll do that. It'll come to you. Trust your intuition and your higher self. Do not listen because someone else tells you, like this poor man who's giving his money to all these people. You'll be able to do it yourself when you get that level. All right, because maybe they're at this level, not high enough, and then you're going to take their truth. Remember, it's their truth. Doesn't mean it's the truth. Because as you raise it in consciousness, your truth changes as you realize, as you go higher and higher, what the reality really is. So your version of the truth will change. It's constantly changing, you see, until you get there. So don't think because somebody else says, this is it, and you've got to do that, and you must do this. No. This is your higher self, your conscious. Okay, trust that, the divine. That's it. Above anything and everything. That's the one you've got to listen to and trust, and that guidance. Okay. But always, when you say things, for my highest good. Okay. Always ask for light beings. Just be careful. Because you've got to go through the bumpy. You've got to bump yourself up that path. And you've got to face your own fears, which are manifested in whatever. Who knows what's in your mind. You've suppressed all that dark energy and anger and fear and hurt. It can manifest in all kinds of who knows what you can see, because it depends on your consciousness, what you believe. So it might come as a 5-legged demon, or it might look like a reptilian, or who knows. Who knows? Because it also depends on what other projections and realities are similar you've lived. The other dreams you've had before this. So you might have played reptilian on Mars, or you might have played, who knows, Lyrian, and there we are. It sounds confusing. It's all mumbo jumbo to someone, but most thing is start with there. The most important thing is to release your soul from any more nonsense in this life and another life, and those people, and just get rid of anything that's people don't realize there's things influencing their life. They have no idea. And sometimes it's not even your soul, it's other souls, okay, that are influencing your life. And energy is making you ill and all kinds of things. It's a path worth taking, and you'll free yourself, and you can go as high as you want, and you can completely liberate yourself, your soul, your everything, completely. And you'll know life will never be the same. And it's worth every step of the way. You have some bumpy ones, because I did go through all those, and then I went through the alien realm thing, whole story, and I went through that whole thing, and those battles and fighting and shit and whatever. So yeah, you get up there, and eventually then you transcend all of that, and you become absolute pure light. You can ask to be completely purified, so you can absolutely purify your vessel. And you will become just light, pure light. All right. And voila. There we are. You get rid of it. But you got to get rid of your darkness, and you'll be guided. It depends on you. But believe, just as long as you remember the one thing, nothing and no one has power over you. All right. And you are the boss. You manifest. So that's it. But you start there. Then you got to watch your thoughts, what you believe, your fear, your energy. All right. Very important to keep it good, to keep it positive, and to focus on that. Not on the negative and the bad, because that'll keep you. You don't want to draw negative things to you again. Yes, I do. Yes, of course I do. I do questions. I answered questions. If you go to my page, some lady, it wasn't actually a question on my page. Someone, I don't know how I got tagged in a question about this, about how do I start my healing journey. And I was awake all of last night anyway, because I didn't sleep. And because I was on the phone to someone who's been through an immense amount of trauma. Wow. I mean, you have such empathy for people, because I do understand. I've been through it myself. So when you listen to that person's, and I know the suffering and pain, how much hurt you're holding in you. Because look at my throat, my heart, the damage it did to the physical vessel by holding all that hurt and that pain, it just accumulates, and it gets heavier and heavier. And the more you hold on, the darker your poor soul. It's like your soul being buried under a mountain, literally. That's what's happening. Your soul is just getting buried and buried and buried and buried, and it's eventually you've got so much on top, so much that you can't see your way out. And you're stuck in this rut of absolute fear, and you're too frightened to even face your fear because it's so terrifying with that pain you've built up. It's so much hurt. And that's why the best way to do it is through a hypnosis, a past life regression, so you don't feel the pain. And when you wake up, the healing is done. You see? So not like a therapy where you're talking to someone, because all you're doing is repeating that trauma in therapy, and you're going to feel that pain. This is you go under deep hypnosis, okay? And your soul takes you back, and then let it be cleared and healed, okay? And especially when they show you why, because no therapist is going to bloody know that answer, why that happened to you. And when you're shown by your actual soul, this is actually what happened and why, you're like, oh my hell. Like, you couldn't make it up, imagine it, anything. It's like, oh Lord. Then you're amazed at yourself, because you realize that you actually did this to help others. Wow. You put yourself in that situation in order to help others. There's a reason, you'll see. And I can't tell you everyone else's reason why you do it, okay? You do it for a reason. Should you go where? You shouldn't be asking anybody. I can't talk for you. As I say, you've got to listen to your own intuition and guidance. It's not for me to tell you what to do. It's not going to work. You have to want it and feel it. See, that's not coming from your intent, then it won't work. If you're like asking someone telling me, should I do this? Yeah, okay. You've got to want it, or it doesn't work. I wanted it. I was like, I'm so over this place. I'm just happy to leave this planet. I thought this life was the most horrendous life. It sucked. It was suffering, pain. Right, I'm out of here. Yeah. And I was going to be, actually. That year, I was actually going to be leaving the planet anyway. But so, yeah. I just was like, oh, no, I'm not coming back. I just thought, you see, my thing was, I didn't know about all of this. I just thought, okay, I'm not coming back. I did not want to come back. I just thought, that's it. I'm out of here. I want to ascend, go to heaven. You know, this is where my consciousness was. I didn't know anything about this. I want to just go to heaven. I'm not coming back. I don't want to be born again. I just thought, no ways, I'm coming back to this planet, ever. Because that's how much. Well, anyway. Would you talk about the civics ahead of us? Yeah, but don't focus. This is an illusion. This is the distraction. Do not focus on the outside. It doesn't matter what happens around you. It's your soul. It matters. If you're directing your soul and yourself, what happens around you won't affect you. You will be all right. You are the director of this play. So you will, whatever. Some people will cruise through this thing and won't be affected by it at all. They'll be, as I said, you rise above the darkness. And people have told you those, the ones will be untouched by this. You seek to rise above this, and you will float through this, and that's it. You will rise above it. Your soul is the eternal. Your body doesn't. First of all, it doesn't matter what happens to your body. It's irrelevant, because your body is not you. You're all going to die, if you like it or not. Now, next year, 5 years, 50 years, you're going to die. This will die. This illusion will fall away. Your soul does not. So stop worrying about when the body is going to die, what's going to happen, because you draw it to you. Okay, you're drawing negative things. Go within. This journey is more important, okay? Because in the mind, you're also going to free your mind from all this nonsense and fear and illusion and panic, and it's a distraction, stopping you from going within and raising your consciousness, your frequency, and finding the truth out. It's a distraction. It's like watching a movie, and you should be driving a car. Well, how can you constantly be hit by the dark? Stop watching it. Stop focusing on the darkness. How can you? I'm not hit by the darkness. I didn't even know it. I'm not interested in that nonsense. If you've chosen it as your truth and you believe it's, oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. You are in the darkness. You can't see out or above it. You see, you have chosen to sink you in here. That's what I'm talking about, this journey. You've got to raise yourself out of it, people. If you're seeing darkness and it's a projection. If all you see and all you believe is the worst and you're terrified, that's because you and your soul is in darkness. You need to get the darkness off your soul, and you will see a very different ball. And you will get there, and you'll be like, oh wow, you'll be guided differently. You see, if you want to play in this, your soul will let you. It'll just sit back and watch you because your soul knows it's eternal. So it's going to be, okay, this one wants to, like, die a nasty way, or that one wants to, go down that. Ooh, okay. And your soul's just going to sit there and watch this ego play this game. It's a movie. And your ego is going to take you wherever. Who knows? Done some very shit game. A very shit movie. You don't want to be in, where you're going to suffer and have terror and all kinds of, you know what I mean? It's not good. So you choose. Stop focusing on this shit. Because if you're holding, and if you fear and anger and all this nonsense, because that's being shared out there, because that's somebody else's illusion, belief in their soul. People there's some souls out there with a huge amount of, so sad, man. Wow. I was awake last night talking to one for long hours who's been through, oh, wow. And I can empathize. I will never tell someone or judge someone, because I had that same hurt, trauma, and I know I can see that. You don't want to go there. The people don't want to open that trauma, that wound. They don't want you. It's easy to hang. It's so, you've tried to put it in a little box, and you try to close that cupboard, and it's down there. You don't want anyone touching it, because it's so painful. You don't want someone to open up that wound, because it's too painful to face, you see. So you keep running. It's as within, so without. Yeah, it's terrible. Hate and fear and all this. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. So it's, whatever it's I said, it's at the moment, I don't want to go into too much. I'm trying to just tell people that want to seek, that are frightened, which are there's a lot of them out there that are terrified, have bought into this timeline nonsense, whatever, because they know no better. And they someone else's truth or story. They're believing it's true, because whoever they put in front of the social media and TV, they don't even know the person personally, but he's a doctor, or he's a this, or he's a whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You're going to die. This illusion comes to an end, the body. The body is not who you are. And when you realize who you are, you will have no fear, and you direct your life not in a bad path. So you will glide through this, and you'll be unaffected by whatever happens in this game, matrix, journey, earth, whatever you want to believe it is, right? There we are. Good morning. So that's all that's important. See? Yes, free your mind. Well, the ego. What it really is actually the ego. It's the identity you've taken on. I am, believe you are this. You believe you're this body. You believe I'm John, and this is my body, and oh my gosh, I'm going to die. This is the biggest fear. What is humans fear, right? We fear of dying. What is dying? This dying. Because if this dies, oh my gosh, you believe this is all you are. So if this thing dies, oh my gosh, that's it. Sorry. So did I. Actually, no, I didn't care. I was actually happy to go. I was looking forward to leaving the planet. And I was going to leave the planet. I missed my karmic takeoff. Time to leave the planet was last year. Last winter was one of my exits for this planet. I was meant to die. And I went through it, and I was like, ooh, okay. But then I didn't. So it's a karmic, it was a timeline I was on, which I just jumped. So I did go through the whole thing. I felt it, and went there and came back. But because I was on this journey already, I could jump. I could say, do away with that karma. So I did away with the karma of me dying. So I'm still here. There we are. That's why I say you've got to start this journey, and you'll know why. Start the journey. If it's up to you, if you want to get out of that, and you'll feel there's nothing to be afraid of. Because if you're afraid of them, you're drawing it to you. So you're going to experience what you don't want to experience. See? So start doing your journey. There's your faith. Start praying. Start asking. Start seeking help. All right. And you'll see it will change. And it's like a tidal wave will come and go around you, and you'll be standing in the middle. Perfectly fine. There we are. So you create your change. Change comes from within. And this is the problem. Everybody's focusing on the outside. My daughter's trying to get hold of me for some reason. She doesn't realize I want her live. She doesn't get a call back. Mommy! And sorry, she's not young, but she's obviously wants to talk to me for some reason. I'm getting bothered there. So there we are, people. I think that's enough. I don't need to go into any more depth because that's a whole different story. I just wanted to talk about, this is about starting the journey, not about all other things. That's on a higher level. So starting the journey, that's what you need to do. You really got to mean it. So if you're that frightened, well then ask. There we are. That'll get you, somewhere in the end. You'll either get fed up with being frightened, or I don't know. You see, we're all souls. We're all part of God, expressing in different ways. So we're all having different experiences. So choose what you want to experience, all right? And remember, this is not you, all right? There's a higher power, your eternal, your soul, that guides you. That's watching all this. And it's there when you ask, if you want to, okay, let's just, I don't like this path, let me get on a nicer one. Ask, there we are. Change it, and it will come. All right, beautiful souls. Let me see what my daughter's up, and I'm going to post this up to YouTube for that lady who's on that path. So those are my recommendations, but it's not for me to tell you what to do. And when you start that journey, please don't let other people dictate what you should be doing and what they believe is true and not, and this and that's got to watch out, and this one you got to do that, and that's their truth, and that's their path. Every soul is different. Okay, please trust that divine guidance that comes to you over anything else. All right, people. Have a wonderful day, morning, evening, and everything is wonderful. All right. You'll see anyway. When you leave this physical body, you'll be like, oh,